Now let's look at this map to see if we can identify a rural and an urban area. So if you look at, for example, Discovery Bay has a lot of social services, has a lot of businesses, influenced by a lot of road networks, and it is clustered in terms of its pattern. So in this case, this would be an example of an urban settlement on this map. If you look at Dunbarton, it doesn't have a lot of businesses or social services. It's just influenced by this one road network, and it is surrounded by a lot of vegetation by the green shading. So in this case, this would be an example of a rural settlement. Now on to describing vegetation. Vegetation is represented with different symbols on a map, and we can have two types. We can have the natural vegetation, which is not inclusive of crops. So in this case, you have like woodland and your forested areas. While you can have cultivated vegetation, which include crops, banana, citrus, coffee, and so on. Green is the color that is used to represent vegetation, and of course you look in the key, you look on the key to see what the different shades represent. You can have a dark shade of green or a light shade of green to represent different types of vegetation. So when you're describing vegetation, you give the location, so in terms of if it's to the north, the south, northwest, northeast, and so on. You talk about the distribution, so if there is a lot, so it's clustered, or you have the vegetation being scattered. And again, you look in the key to identify the different symbols and the shading that is used there. You indicate the type of relief on which it occurs, so if it's steep or flat, and you know that you can determine this based on the contour lines.